I won't ride without it. I'm stoked with it. Right, it's TB from Ride ADV. I've been getting a lot of questions about air vests and why I wear what I wear. If you follow us at Ride ADV, we have a very no bullshit approach. We like to test everything we can. Now, I wanted an air vest from very early in the piece when they first sort of turned up, because before that I wanted a neck brace, and not having a neck presented a problem. If I got the neck brace on, I couldn't get the helmet on. If I got the helmet on, I couldn't get the neck brace on. If I got them both on, I couldn't move, much to my kids' amusement the day that happened. I watched for a while. There was vests out with tethers and stuff like that. I saw these Klim ones come out. I was in the States at the time. I had a bit of a look around. Came back here, spoke with Adventure Moto, and got a Rally Pro. Now, I've had it for over 2 years, and I've done over 140,000 kilometres with it. I rode through Canada and the US with it, and even the day in Utah when it was 46 degrees. So heat was an issue, and this is the reason why I wanted a vest, not an air jacket. This is my second one of these, and I didn't want to come down the sleeves. I wanted to try and hold as much airflow as I could, because if it's an airbag and it's going to hold air, then air's not going to go through it. So you've got to take that into account. So I wear an EVS pressure suit. The suit, I've removed the front chest protector and the back protector, and I put that on. So I've got my shoulders and my arms, and it comes full length. It's just like, I don't know, fishnet. And then I put my vest over. So now that gives me full front protection, ribs, etc., neck protection. I'll get to why that was important to me, and back protector. And the other thing I do like about it, there's a couple of cool features. One is on my Apple Watch, I have the app here. So at any point in time, I can hit the button on this. So it can tell me how much battery's left. And I normally can get 3 days out of this. I think it's 36 hours, but I charge it every 2 days. When I charge it, I normally charge it, have my phone nearby. It syncs up to the app, and then that goes through to them. They take the data, and then they use that data to help with the algorithms, but I'm really happy with that part of it. They have D3 armor here in the front, and they have it in the back here. So you can see it here. So yeah, it has that armor, and I've had a couple of tiny falls, once changing from first to second gear and transitioning to stand up. A wallaby shot through the longish grass and took my front wheel out. Tumble. I don't want the vest going off then, and it didn't. So I've had a lot of trouble-free miles with it without it going off, and I was always, people say, oh, what's it like when it goes off? And I used to say, I don't know. I don't care if it ever goes off. I don't want it to. But the end of January this year, turned out to be a big crash, and I didn't at the time know it was a big crash, and it deployed then. Now, what happened, I was riding along with one of my sweep guys, my medic guy actually. I sort of gapped out a little bit, came around a corner, a pretty rough track, and I was going from second to third. So on a 700 Tenere, it's a bit of pace, and there's always a washout there. And I went to sort of loft the front over the washout, and caught the washout. It took off the bank and speared me into the bank. The next thing I know, I'm having a discussion with Josh about my bark buster, and he's wanting me to rest, and I'm wanting to go, and we had 11 Ks to home. So in the end, he said, listen, I had a ringing headache. If you can work the Allen keys and fix your bark buster, I'll let you ride home. So we got to finish 11 Ks, etc. And they kept saying what a big crash it was, and I kept saying, it's not a big crash. I feel fine. Like, I'm not hurt. I have a headache, and that was a carbon Troy Lee helmet. First time I'd ever worn it. So that sits on the shelf now, because it's had a substantial enough impact for me to have a concussion. And they kept talking about how big an accident was, and I kept arguing that it can't be a big accident. I've just bumped my head. The rest of me's fine. What I didn't find out 2 weeks later, when I went on a ride, I jumped up in the morning, went on that particular ride. I turned on my vest. I just put it on. I didn't check my lights. You'll have 2 lights come on. I didn't check the lights to see that it came on to say it was green, and it was ready to go. So you've got a light there for the inflator, and you've got a light there for GPS. So the inflator plugs, the brain box plugs into that, and that goes into the inflator canister. That afternoon, when we stopped somewhere, I took my vest off, and Abby pointed out to me that I had a red light on my vest. When we checked, it said it was either low gas pressure or poor connection. So that night I checked the connection. It was okay. I pulled the canister out, and the canister had clearly discharged. We then realised that it had gone off in my accident, and I wasn't hurt because it had gone off and saved me. And my impact on my helmet was here as I speared in the bank, and I'm a lot of boy to spear in the bank. So clearly when it inflated here, that protected my neck as I hit the end of my helmet long enough with my body pushing into the bank to not sustain any. And I was not sore anywhere. So I was stoked. Like, I was so happy. So I put another canister in it. I didn't test the bag. I put a canister in it, rode the next day. That night when I got home, I pulled the canister back out and did a test, and the bag failed. Remember, it's done 140,000 kilometers in a couple of continents. So the bag failed. I'm like, okay. So I went next day, I took it down to Adventure Moto, and they tested it, said, yeah, the bag's failed. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, what do we do now? said, you got to get another vest. So I purchased another vest because I won't ride without it. I kept this same brain box because you can buy a vest without the brain box. Took it home and got in touch with In&Motion. A couple of emails back and forth, really fast, really, really cool, considering the other side of the world. This bag set up to that. I could have done it on the app, but I didn't read it properly. I paid nearly $1,000 for another vest, and I started thinking about it. I thought, that thing went off once, and it cost me $1,000. Did some research, and my accident was a lot bigger than I thought. The $1,500 helmet was a throwaway item because of the head impact, and it's barely got a mark on it. It was a clay bank I hit, but obviously the MIPS inside the helmets worked enough to save me. And then when I worked out 140,000 kilometers, this computer said that the previous air vest had done. What's $1,000, 140,000 kilometers? It's cheap as chips. I won't ride without it. I'm stoked with it. It doesn't bring confidence or anything. It just brings peace of mind. And that accident proved it. I'm 56 now, so you've got to look after yourself. To get away with a headache was a great result. It's lighter than a full jacket. It breathes well. It's comfortable. I can't be happy enough. We'll talk about the subscription and the cost of the subscription and stuff like that. Look, I get it. This air vest is $300-400 cheaper, I think. Don't quote me, in Australia, than the Alpine Star. There's nothing wrong with the Alpine Star jacket. I'm not saying that. But the cost of this, I think you get 3 years subscription before the cost will catch up. I think it's a bit like technology at the moment. I think that we'll be changing air vests out every 3 years or something for a while anyway. Everything's got to have a life, hasn't it? So I don't mind paying the subscription. It's easy to change. It's whatever. It's the reason I chose it was the weight of the overall jacket, plus the breathability and the outstanding protection, which all those things have done for me. So that's why I use the Klim Rally Pro Vest. I'm absolutely stoked with it. Can't recommend it enough. It should be mandatory, like knee braces, but don't start me on those.